Is my mic connected now? It is. Hello. Chat. It is time. At least my last AP of the AP season for 2026. I believe it is the same for many of you here today. We're nearing the end here. One more test and we're done. AP Lang this time. AP English Language. I think my music's too loud. I really need to get a camera. My God. Let me connect my leg so you can see me better here. I think that'll fix some of the issues that I was having. Yeah, there we go. Already looks at least a little more clear. Alright. The plan for today, as last week, is pretty simple. We're doing an AP Lang exam. This timer is, this timer will change. It'll reset itself. It'll part its normal course. How do I move it though? There we go. Yeah, we're doing a practice test. I'm gonna be doing number 2, because for some reason, practice exam 1 FRQ does not exist. Oh, sorry, I'm doing number 3. Because FRQ somehow, for some reason, does not exist for me. And then I think I'm blocking, but you can see down here for practice exam FRQ, I already started that. I don't remember ever starting that, but I assume I probably did it one time, like in class, for a class assignment. So I'm not going to worry about it too much. Sorry, 1 second. Getting some last second text before I go incognito. Let's get this set up. I started a little later than I would have liked. Mostly my own fault. I chose to eat. Because I still went to Frisbee practice today, which I probably shouldn't have done. But regardless, it was fine. I went to AP Lang practice. I went to Frisbee practice. And then I only got home like an hour and a half ago. And then I chose to shower and eat beforehand. So, oh no. So I hope I have time for everything. The MCQ should take an hour. And then 2 hours for the essays. Well, because that's been the issue. Because last year I was able to do a full AP World practice, but this year it's been a little trickier doing a full practice, especially because, what's it called? I have, like, stuff to do. I'm getting home hella late every time. Why did I get home late for AP Gov? What happened last week? I'm not looking at the right dates. Oh, I see. I had tutoring and I had a push review. And then what happened before, and then I had a game before a push. I probably just shouldn't have gone to practice today. It's okay. Alright, chat. I'm gonna start, I believe. I shouldn't have any problem with that. Let me just pull up the music I'm gonna be using. Justify instrumental version, you've done me well as an intro. And I'll probably never use you again, as most intros, but it's okay. It's a cycle of life. Okay, I'm actually a little bit worried about this test. Not this test, the MCQs, because I've just not practiced them, because I assumed they'd be easy, so forgive me if I do badly here. I have not practiced. I've done some practice, but certainly not as much as I have for the other exams. Really quickly, as I did for the other 2 exams, I would simply like to know what do I need on AP Lang MCQs to get a 5? It's out of 45 questions. You need to get 30 to 40 correct. Okay, so I'll be aiming for at least 35. That seems doable. These are basically SAT questions, so it shouldn't be that bad. With that, I believe I'm good to get started. So, oh my god. I'm having issues with my chat. Just like straight up not cooperating with me before. And it's doing it again. Okay. Okay. I'm procrastinating. We should start. Okay. How do I restart this timer here? Once I restart, I'm going straight into it because I really want to have as much time as possible. I might have to get water in the middle. Alright, timer's restarted. Go, 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 go. I'm doing number 3, MCQ. Here we go. I'm putting my phone away. Ugh. Am I blocking? I'm probably blocking passages. Should I move myself? This might be better. Okay, I'll be here for today. Okay. The issue with this is okay, my strategy, I always read the question, then read it, and just only look for the part that I actually need. Which following best describes the function of the first sentence? A country founded on the principle of individual freedom, life, liberty, pursuit of happiness, has been both a gift and a problem. Makes a claim, probably. It is not evidence, it is not summarizing a conclusion, and it doesn't contradict an argument. Yeah, it's a claim that it defends. So I can just skim it and kind of see that that's the case. In the opening sentence, it shows, that's so nice. I hope it is on the actual test. It shows me exactly where it is. The author assumes which following about his audience. They're familiar with the phrase. Yes. They view the phrase with skepticism? Not particularly. They view individual freedom as with a gift and a problem. No, he's saying that is a thing, not that the audience assumes that. They're probably unfamiliar with the principle. Probably not, because he doesn't explain what this means. I think he's kind of assume that you know it's from the Declaration of Independence. So that feels correct. A is back to back. In the second sentence, thank you. In the second, I like doing that. The second sentence, which following best describes the author's perspective? No man is an island, the English poet John Doe wrote in the 17th century, even the late century, this is America, he could very nearly could be, at least physically. He does not, he opposes it. Nope. Nope. Yes. Does he provide a counterexample? So, yeah. But in the late 18th century, at least in America, you very nearly could be. So he's not endorsing it, he's not explaining it, and he's not elevating it. I don't like that they said counterexample. That feels like this isn't really an example. But I guess this is an example. I'm gonna go with C, because he's rebutting it, so I guess that's the only answer that could be correct. Sorry, 1 second. My computer's dying over here. The third sentence of the paragraph. Boom. The content of some immense, the forest thick, and the land so fertile that the man could literally live alone. It advances the author's purpose by presenting characteristics and features that does not describe England. Find the idea. Yes. Challenges Don Joe's knowledge. Not his knowledge, more his ideas. It advances the author's purpose by presenting characteristics and features that help justify the claim made in the first sentence. No. It's helping him explain why he could be physically. That feels right. How am I doing on time? Okay, pretty good on time so far. I'm kind of speeding through this a little bit just so I know that this is a passage I actually care about and know about a lot because I did a push. And there's going to be sciencey articles later on that I'm not going to have as much of a fun time with. So I just want to make sure I'm actually getting through these at a reasonable pace. Okay. In the second sentence of the second paragraph, okay. The author includes material set off by Dash for Emily II. Okay. This is American South. This is in the first farewell address, this one in 1783, when he resigned his commission, or as the commander-in-chief of the Continental Army. Who are we talking about? Oh yeah, General George Washington envisioned his disbanded troops heading out into the extensive and fertile regions of the West, which would yield a most happy asylum to those who, fond of domestic enjoyment, are seeking for personal experience. I didn't know they called that a farewell address. Okay, sure. Includes material set off by dashes. To give context. Emphasize significance? No. Explain circumstances? around the decision, no. Acknowledge his own uncertainty regarding the exact date, which, no. Identify specific occasion, yeah, it's just clarifying what specific occasion it was. Which following best describes the relationship between the second and third paragraph of the first paragraph? Oh, I hate these types of questions. Then you have to actually read everything, like reading specific sentences. The second and third compared to the first. This one's talking about farewell address. What's this one? This event is not only geographical, but psychological, spiritual, political, and legal. The colonial grants wiped away the revolution. New American landowners could buy and hold land in fee simple. Just the way the high-ranking feudal lords had done at the top of the whole world society. Every man was his own lord and vassal, could do whatever he wanted. He's talking about America here, and here is vague, is what I'm understanding. Develop a line of reasoning to support the first paragraph. Kind of. I don't think it's really supporting the claim so far. Like, it might. Second and third paragraph, develop a line of reasoning to support the first paragraphs. The ones in America. What? Divine support the first thing about self-reliance in America. Potential. I like this better. The second and third paragraph show a conclusion about limitations of self-reliance. No. Second and third paragraphs explain the origins of the principle of individual freedom. No. Yeah, I like this better because he's talking more about America, not the fact that individual freedom is a blessing and a curse. So, yeah. I'm gonna get water. I'll be back in less than 41 seconds. I'll be back. Oh, I should have checked what time I was at, so I'd be able to see where I was and how good I did on my 41 seconds. Alright, continuing Allah. Which of the following best describes the relationship in the third paragraph and the first two? Okay. Okay. There presents evidence contradicting a claim. No. Third paragraph provides technical specifications that refine a definition, introduce, and explain the first paragraph. Yeah, it further explains not only geographical, but these things all related to the claim about America. Third paragraph draws a conclusion from evidence introduced. I don't finish this paragraph. This will be text. It doesn't draw a conclusion just yet. That comes later. Third paragraph broadens the concept introduced and describing the first and second. It does do that. Yeah, it's not really defining a definition. It's more talking in more broad detail about a concept. That concept being living alone in America. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna go with D. Yeah. I already explained myself. I'm going with D. The author introduces another view. Oh my god, in the fifth paragraph. Everyone to develop a contract between Americans. Okay, actually, this. There's another view, a counterpoint, and much of our history is about the struggle of communal thinking to gain sway in economic life in America. The question has never been whether Americans would pitch in and help each other, but rather to the extent to which government could require them to do so. Observers from Tocqueville onward have commented on our willingness, even eagerness to join voluntary associations from civic groups to teaching circles. Americans give more charity per capita than citizens in any other country. Bill Gates and Warren Buffett established the wealthiest charitable foundation in history. We may bull alone more often these days, as offer this guy gloomily puts it for enemy. But we also, what is enemy? A condition of instability. Okay. It doesn't matter. And we also worry about the fact that we do so. Walt Whitman, our bard of brotherhood, saw no conflict between his own credo of the individual and his love for the mankind. Whoever walks a furlong without sympathy walks to his own funeral dressed in a shroud. It's just saying that, like, people are still together sometimes. Acceptance of government control, no. Attitude towards government control wealth distribution. Oh. Because it doesn't talk about government wealth distribution that much here. It kind of says it broadly, like how much would the government require you to help. But all four say that. Contrast Americans' acceptance of government-controlled wealth versus rejection of this practice. No. Attitude towards government-controlled wealth distribution versus attitudes or other practices. No. Strong feelings about government-controlled wealth distribution versus their indifference toward voluntary wealth distribution. Potentially. Resistance towards government-controlled wealth distribution versus their openness to participate in voluntary wealth distribution. Yes? Yeah, because strong feelings is kind of vague. And it's not indifference, it's more openness. So I like how D clarifies like the vagueness of C. So I'm gonna go D. Which following best compares how the author of the passage and Robert Putnam view the claim that Americans bowl alone more often? Compares the author of the passage. They both agree. They both view this development as a problem for the author. He doesn't really call it a problem. Oh, I guess he does call it a problem. I don't like this answer, but we'll move on. They both acknowledge the validity of the claim, but the author views development with less despair than Putnam does. Yeah. They agree on the cause of the development. The cause, no. They both acknowledge the theoretical value of the claim, but disagree about its practical outcome. No. Between these two, I think it's this one. Because, like, they both say to a differing... They don't talk, like... Solution is a funny term, because, like, neither really have solutions. It's more just, like, the author is, like, this is what's happening, and Putnam's like, this is going to lead to you walking in one's own funeral dressed in a shroud. So I'm gonna go B. In the 6th sentence of the 5th paragraph... Holy Sudoku over here. Oh, it's just the bull alone thing. The author places quotation marks around the phrase bull alone, primarily to, because it's a metaphor. Question the validity? No. Dismiss the phrase? No. Attribute the phrase to another author? Yes. Signal an ironic perspective? No, he's just saying that that is what this guy said. And everything is paraphrasing except for this. I'm at question 10. What am I doing on time? 13 minutes in. I think that makes me on pace, if I'm not wrong. I think that's right. I think I'm on pace, which is a little terrifying, because it's like an easy chapter. Can't imagine what a hard one will look like. In the last 2 sentences of the 5th paragraph, the depressing part, the author presents Walt Whitman as a figure who embodies the complex relationship. No. Illustrates the hypocrisy. No. Shows the impossibility of reconciling individualistic and communal thinking. No. Adopted a position on communal thinking that was opposed to dominant social views. What? Embodies the complex relationship between individual... He's not talking about it. No. Illustrates the hypocrisy underlying the celebration of communal thinking in American society, American culture. No. It's definitely not B. Like, more than anything, it's not B. Shows the impossibility of reconciling individualistic and communal thinking. No, only individualistic. Adopted a position on communal thinking that was opposed to dominant social views on the subject. Also no. Is it A? It's definitely not B or C. What are the dominant social views? It talks about both here. I guess if you're arguing that, like, this is the dominant view, where, like, everybody's apart. I'm gonna flag this and come back to it, even though I don't like flagging questions. In the final sentence, I didn't read this, but what is the government's role in reconciling 2 age-old American concepts? There is no such thing as a free lunch, and united we stand. Author indicates a relationship between 2 age-old American concepts by employing subordination? No. Quotation marks to highlight the origins? No. Coordination to suggest a balance. I don't know what that coordination means. A question mark to imply that one of these concepts must be false. That's not true. Subordination to suggest an inequality between the two. No. And it's not this. Quotation marks to highlight the origins of the two concepts. I mean, it doesn't talk about the origins. Coordination. What does coordination mean? What is this test? To suggest a balance between the two concepts. I'm gonna go with this, just because everything else doesn't feel right. I don't know what coordination means, so I guess we're gonna have to freaking move on with it. Oh, is YouTube down? 1 second. No, YouTube's working. What are we on about? I got a weird notification from OBS, but I think we're okay. Okay, moving on. Alright, new thing. This is okay. Which one describes the author's exigence? Okay, I have to actually read this. When I was younger, I used to have the same recurring daydream in gym class. If they were playing softball, I would dream I hit the ball. Me, mid-run, a smile on my face, quickly. I had a milder from myself. What? Okay. I walk with a limp. I give the idea of running. Referees with special talent. Sabletons. I'm a terrible singer, so I figured I'd get sport. I never did. I yearned for representation of people of color with disabilities in sports. Okay. So until the work that disabled black women, okay, all three, do is recognized, I'll continue to champion and celebrate the able-bodied black women. I cried on learning that Miss Berlin. Why is she writing this? What's the exigence? Um, 13-year-old. Some amount of vitriol in me about something a teacher in high school that never made a successful journalist. I wrote one of the biggest triumphs, but I have a ponytail unassisted. Totally like the Olympics, but I felt I was proud of my goals. Position black women, sports to be better. Best, show no emotion, maintain a level of superior strength. We'll go steps out on stage, women's like media, why did she write this? Oh my god. A cultural pressure for that's not exigence. A growing public interest, I guess it can be. A growing public questions, no. A decline in opportunities, no. A spat of high profile inspiring. I'm gonna go with D. So that's all she talks about. Which, it's more context, not exigence, but sure. I'm doing really badly on time right now. Most likely just begin her argument describing the recurring daydream in fraternity workouts in order to brief in our experience. Sports? No. Immediately direct attention to mental world perceptions? Yes. Vividly illustrate the benefits of diversity? No. Clearly demonstrate her reliability and truthfulness as a narrator? No, it's her own opinions. So yeah, because this is about her own perceptions, so start off with it. In the context, second sentence, the fourth paragraph, all walk with a limp, serves which following functions. Just like it explains. Current audience identify the author? No. Encourages the exigence that inspire the author the passage? No. So it's not even an option for exigence, right? Yeah, not even an option. Qualify a statement by limiting its applicability. No, it explains it. Yeah, because I didn't know what that meant either, and so I looked at this and then read this. So, helped me too. In the fifth paragraph, the author uses quotation marks primarily to serve as for a special time. Distinguish the authors? No. Signal some uncertainty about the accuracy of a recollection? No. Convey a sense of skepticism about an idea that is described? Yes. Because you're skeptical about some special talent because it's not going to arrive. Yes. Because she does recollect it, it's not another writer, and it's not a technical term because she doesn't explain it later. So, going with C. In the 11th through 17th paragraphs. I didn't really read this part. Okay. Oh, what? I haven't had the same amount of vitriol thrown at me, but I was told by a teacher in high school that I've never made sense for journalists. I've been writing those questions and racist comments and me through online. Like them, I feel it. Persevere. Okay. Advance her argument primarily by presenting a series of comparisons of she admires. Yes. Profile of traits that characterize. No. A discussion of emotional consequences of the obstacles she faced. No. A definition of perseverance based on her personal experiences. No, she's comparing. She keeps saying like them, and I have the same amount, so it's a series of comparisons. In context, the author's reference to I hold my breath as I await them. Oh wait, their score is a cheer. Though I have told that the way my smiles must triumph, imply that the apparent dissimilarities in this one, not really, depict the emotional damage from a lifetime spent yearning. No. Admit that she's felt joy over the gymnast than she has over the ballerinas. No. That'd be crazy. Illustrate how her sense of solidarity is unconstrained by physical differences. High key, yeah. Did my music turn off? It did. Like, yes-ish, you know? Sense of imply that the apparent dissimilarities are illusion. No, that's not what she's talking about. Like, she's not really talking about her physical differences in these things. But it's definitely not the first two, and it is a sense of solidarity, so we'll go with that. In the context of the passage as a whole, the 14th and 15th paragraphs here do what's the following. Our bodies are no longer identical, I'm saying it's a spectrum, though I've been told about this. Amplify the significance of a comparison by making them qualifying an absolute claim. Maybe. Enhance the author's credibility by reiterating her own ideas. No. Encourage readers to relate to the author's experience by helping them visualize her facial expressions. Not really. Preempt a likely objection by demonstrating the author's lack of resentment. No. So, yeah, because you can say the absolute claim is that our bodies are in no way identical. And then she says, like, this is the significance, and this is the qualification, that there's still smiles. I'll go with A. In the context, first sentence of the 18th paragraph. For Lena Dunham and an online feminist newsletter. Okay. I wrote about one of my biggest triumphs so far, putting my hair up in a ponytail unassisted. This primarily serves to verify the accuracy of the audience self-perception. No. Equate the author's opportunity as a writer with opportunities available to athletes with disabilities. No. No, maybe. Connect the author's insights about her professional life to her broader experience as a person. Cite evidence to definitively disprove critics' assertions and the author's limitations. No. Alright, so it's one of these two. Equate the author's opportunities as a writer with the opportunities available to athletes with disabilities. Not really. Connect to the author's insights on her personal life to broader experiences. Because it just doesn't talk about athletes. But it does right before. I don't know. This is tough. This is the first, like, I've had a couple tricky questions so far, but this is like this could be 50-50 for me. Equate the author's opportunities as a writer, because she wrote about it, with the opportunities available to athletes. I'm gonna come back to it. In discussing an I should put an answer though. In discussing an expectation, that was a guess, by the way. In discussing an expectation in the 19th paragraph, the author uses the phrase "better than the best" in superstitions to convey that it's like impossible. Indignation that prejudges underlying claims, expectations cannot be met. Yes. Lighthearted mockery. Belief that expectation reflects unrealistic demands. Yeah. Suspicion that the challenges posed by expectations have been exaggerated. No. Indignation at prejudices. underlying claims that the expectation cannot be met. No, it is C. Because here it's saying the opposite, actually. I just read it wrong. Belief that expectations reflects unrealistic demands. Yes. In the 21st paragraph, author used the phrase that isn't really a miracle, advances are okay. Simply seeing all the women succeed in their fields is something akin to witnessing a miracle that isn't really a miracle, but rather a result of fate putting the world in the right order. And to overarching purpose or minimizing the difference? No. Emphasizing that lead that women achieve success through talent and hard work? Yes. Demonstrating that expectations ways what are impossible to meet? That was earlier. Implying that there are actually thousands of women with achievements as impressive as Copeland's. Yeah, I think it's saying that, like, it's not actually a miracle. It is achieved through success. So it's not saying, like, they were DEI hires, basically, in the woke way. I'm, like, just barely good on time. I just checked time. I'm halfway through, and I'm 4 extra minutes through. So, yikes, dude. The Gov test gave you infinite time. Like, I was answering questions faster, and I an extra 20 minutes. And even 8 push, I finished with like 5-10 minutes left. Here, I'm like struggling to finish. Oh my god. I should keep going. Dude, it's just so straining. It's so straining. Okay. Back freaking to it. Throughout the passage, the author presents evidence to support which the following overarching claims, even members of marginalized groups are extraordinarily gifted, they rarely receive recognition. Yes. While citation is important, role models can be highly valuable to people who are not identical to them. Not really the point. However, perseverance is more important than success. It does not talk about marginalized people. The lack of prominent people with disabilities in popular culture is preventing children with disabilities from pursuing their goals. Opposite. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Second to last passage, unless it gives me 2 more passages. We'll see. The passage below is a draft. That's helpful. The writer is... Oh, it's a draft. I see. Popeye's movies and TV shows, such as Tiny House Nation, the Tiny House Movement, advocacy for is typically measuring less. Okay, I understand the main point. Writer is considering deleting, typically measuring square feet. In sentence 1, adjusting the punctuation needed. Should the writer keep or delete, typically measuring in sentence 1? What are you asking me for? This is like, I've never seen this type of question. This is like a subjective question. Provides information that helps to find a key concept. Yeah. Important context. Like, it's context. I wouldn't say it's importance. Like, it helps. Delete it because it interrupts the flow of the paragraph. It's not nonsensical information. Delete it because it uses language inconsistent with the tone. That's also not true. It's like, I guess for these questions, you're not really saying whether to delete or keep it. You're saying whether the reasoning makes sense. There's an argument for deleting. It's just not either of these two. So, yeah, keep it because it provides information. In order to support the line of reasoning in the second paragraph, writers can delete except 6, keep it or delete it. Okay. One of the most important appeals of tiny houses is their low prices, ranging from $22 to $79. The prices of tiny homes are far lower than those of new traditional houses, which have a median price of over $300 in 2018. According to the Urban Institute, a non-profit research organization, the total value of housing in the United States was $27.2 billion. This is irrelevant. Yeah. Easy. In sentence 8, the writer wants to provide evidence to clarify the previous sentence's point about what advocates can fail to consider, which the following versions of required. Where is it? I see. Okay. However, advocates often fail to consider the hidden cost of tiny homes, the land they sit on. In many areas, purchasing or renting land for a tiny home requires compliance with local building codes. Okay. Purchasing or renting land for a tiny home costs more than the home itself. Yeah, that makes more sense. It's an inconvenient. we're talking about the hidden costs, and that is definitely a hidden cost, and that is not, and these are not. So, yeah, costs more than that. These are kind of easier. I like these because here the actual content doesn't matter, which is great. The writer wants to combine sentences 9 and 10 into a single sentence to make the passage clearer and more concise, which the following versions more effectively accomplishes this goal. Okay. In many areas, as many cities do not welcome tiny homes, and many cities do not welcome tiny homes. In some cases, tiny homes do not meet zoning regulations. In others, residents fear tiny homes will decrease property value. And many cities do not welcome tiny homes, either because they do not meet zoning requirements, or I like that. Do not welcome tiny homes, which do not meet And many cities do not welcome tiny homes. In some cases, tiny homes do not meet zoning regulations. In others, residents fear tiny homes will decrease property. Many cities do not welcome tiny homes that do not meet zoning regulations. No. Welcome tiny homes. Those that do not meet... either because... I like this. Because it gives 2 reasons for why cities are not welcome. Or the homes aren't welcome in the cities. I understand it. Alright. In sentence 11, the writer wants to use punctuation or formatting features to ensure that the meaning of the sentence is clear. Which of the following versions of greener housing alternative best accomplish this goal? What? The writer wants to use punctuation or formatting features to ensure that the meaning of the sentence is clear. Okay, I got you. Another touted benefit of tiny homes is that they are a greener housing alternative, but again, the reality is more complicated. That felt fine. A greener housing alternative. I like how it is now, because they're emphasizing housing for no reason. Parentheses feels weird. Like, because the point of the quotation is to be like, well, it's not actually greener, but putting in parentheses is kind of weird. And then it's saying later on that the fact that it's greener is in question, not the fact that it is an alternative. So I'm going to keep it as it is now. Controversial, I know. I think that'll ever be an answer choice here. I thought like they wouldn't do that, but oh well. In sentence 12, the writer wants to offer a contrasting perspective to the idea presented in the first part of the sentence, which following versions of that complete the goal. While tiny houses are more efficient than larger buildings, the average size of the house and the associated energy consumption varies considerably from one country to another. What? Wants to offer a contrasting perspective presented. Yeah, that doesn't do that. While tiny houses are more efficient than larger buildings, their primary appeal for many people is the ingenious way to maximize available space. No. While tiny houses are more efficient than larger buildings, they are less environmentally friendly than dense housing, such as apartment complexes which heat. Yes. More energy efficient than larger buildings. While tiny homes are more energy efficient than buildings, advocates who suggest these houses be placed in unused alleyways and other out-of-the-way places in major cities seem unaware that similar housing waivers are replaced. Yeah, it's definitely... This section's like way easier than the other parts were. I'm like concerned. The writer wants to add a concluding sentence after sentence 13 that brings the argument of the passage to a logical conclusion, which is the following. Okay. Although many people see tiny homes as an appealing solution to the present housing problem, cities are most pressed for space that already having a solution that works better. Apartment complexes or other efficient, eco-friendly forms of dense housing. Okay. It does not make sense to assume that environmental problems and rising housing prices. No. Well, maybe. The goals of tiny house movement would be better served by promoting dense housing. Yeah. Only by reforming building codes. No. All advocates for housing reform can agree that new houses are built in ways that often no. It's between these two. It does not make sense to assume that environmental problems and rising housing prices will both have the same issue. It's not really talking about rising housing prices, it's just saying they're high. The cool science would be better served promoting dense housing. My main issue with that is that dense housing was only mentioned in like the last, like it's literally the last thing here. It does not make sense to It's pretty 50-50 again for me here. I don't know. Yikes. Holy 50-50, bro. It does not make sense to assume that environment. I'm marking it. And I'm gonna pick for now. How many have I marked so far? I've marked 3. That's not bad. By 30, it's a little bad. So the argument of the passage. Actually, you know what? No. Because it only talks about dense housing at the very end, and it's talking about the argument of the passage, so it's the top. Let's hope. The writer wants to avoid giving the impression of bias against any point of view. To accomplish this, which following phrases from that should the writer change? Fanatical tiny house proponent. Yeah, that's pretty bad. Beneficial on several levels? No. Hidden costs? No. Appealing solution to pressing housing problems? No. Yeah, I didn't read this. Calling the proponents fanatical is kind of crazy, I'm not gonna lie. Alright. Oh, they are giving us 2 more. I thought it was gonna be 1 more. Okay. How much time do I have left? No, I opened Bing on accident. I don't want you. Nobody ever wants you, Bing. Or is it Edge? I don't know what it's called. 23 minutes left, and I have how many questions left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Not bad. Not bad. Okay, what's this about? We're back to the boring. Oh, this is the sciencey boring one. Fine. The writer wants to avoid expressing the argument of the passage in absolute terms. Okay, what's an absolute term? Remarkable frequency? No. Now, undoubtedly discovered. That's pretty. Yeah, may have. That's, yeah. Most likely is not absolute. They might have is not absolute. Undoubtedly is pretty absolute. It's undoubtedly. Oh, why are these words so... Chat. These words are so long. And they just keep going. The writer wants to add an introductory sentence to the passage that orients the audience by providing contextual information. Which the following do that? Titanosaurs, the group of dinosaurs notable for their behemoth size, small head, and long necks and tails, once plotted over every continent on Earth during the Cretaceous, the last period before the dinosaur extinction. Scientists frequency. Actually, yeah. Paleontology is find the brush. No. On February 14th, paleontological scientific discovery appropriate for Valentine's Day. That's cute. To date, paleontologists have identified approximately 60 different titanosaur species in the new discovery. This one is relatively small compared to other ones. Yeah, no, we're talking about this one. Because we're talking about the earliest phases of the takeover. And we're talking about how they once plotted over the continent. I like. The writer is considering changing sentence 4 so that it clearly articulates the passage's overarching claim. Which the following the passage's overarching claim. I don't know what the claim is. I haven't read it yet. The specimen unearthed by scientists lived between 110 and 100 million years ago, meaning the species was the early member of the Titanosaur group. By studying this new dinosaur, paleontologists believe that they can determine the precise function of the mysteriously heart-shaped tailbones. What is it with the Valentine's heart-shaped tailbones? Definitely not. They believe they can solve the mystery of widespread. Maybe. Develop more effective techniques. No. Predict actually we're gonna find other ones. No, we're talking about how they became the earliest phases and then how they grew in size and population. Not size, only population. Maybe in size. Actually, I'm not a paleontologist. I don't know. The writer wants to combine sentence 5 and 6 to reduce redundancy and ensure precision in meaning. Okay. The announcement in February 2019 created giant buzz both in the scientific community and in the general public. This excitement was in part because of a unique feature. Attendance was a heart-shaped tailbone. Oh, because it was in February. I get it now. Okay. Created a big buzz in the general public, which was caused by a unique feature. Yes. Because of a unique feature in some... It was good until in some aspect. Public. And the general public, the cause of this buzz being in part due to a unique feature. In part because... Yeah, this is the most precise. For the community and general public, in part because of the unique feature. The Titanosaurus heart tailbone. Yeah. We don't have to talk about the buzz again and the unique feature. Or sorry, which was being caused by. Too many words. The writer wanted to ensure that language used in sentence 9 maintains the tone used in the rest of the passage. Which following versions of weird? Where's that? Okay. This person's team knew that they had found a species thanks to the weird tailor bones. They said bizarre earlier, no? I'm gonna call it distinctive, because totally and bizarre and weird all seem like, like this could be in like a Guinness Book of World Records book. But we're talking scientific here, so we're gonna be distinctive about these tailbones. How am I doing on time? 18 minutes left, and I have 8 questions. Not too shabby. The writer wants to add the following sentence to the second paragraph. In fact, so prolonged was the process that even though paleontologists first discovered this thing's bones in 2004, it took 15 years to fully excavate them, piece them together, and analyze the results. Which one is most logical? Before sentence 5. No. Well, potentially. I just don't like in fact being the start of a paragraph. No. Before sentence 7. This is excitement with heart-shaped bones. In fact, maybe. Before sentence 9. Big Justin investigation described a long process involved in unearthing the dinosaurs. A complicated expert. Yeah, except for this. Because you're talking about how, like, it was a long process, complicated endeavor that required excavators to get a lift, little climbing gear. In fact, so prolonged was the process that it took 15 years. Yeah. I like. Okay, 2 more for this boring science paragraph. Or passage. I can't talk anymore. I can't talk anymore, and I've been doing this for less than an hour. Which is kind of crazy. Okay. The writer is now considering changing sentence 14 so that is consistent with the writer's perspective on the tense. Which following versions of domineering? I don't even know what domineering means. Okay. Until recently, the fossils in South America, hence the discovery of the latest dinosaurs in Tanzania, provides a critical look into the group for the widespread diversification around the planet. And while titanosaurs were one of the most domineering groups during the age of dinosaurs, prevalent groups. It's not commanding and it's not what it is now, but prevalent and rampant feel equal to me. I feel like I would use those interchangeably. I don't know. Prevalent or rampant? And while titanosaurs were one of the most prevalent groups during the age of dinosaurs, I guess prevalent makes more grammatical sense here. And while titanosaurs were one of the most rampant groups during the... prevalent makes more sense. The writer is considering adding the sentence following sentence 15. It should be noted, of course, that Gorosaki and his team found approximately 45% of the skeleton and unfortunately did not recover the skull. It's so sad. Should the writer make this addition? What does it currently say? Plans additional fossil digs in other parts of Africa, hoping to find other probabilities. Oh, yes, 100%. He strengthened the past, providing evidence for the claim. No. Because the reader might always wonder about the appearance and antagonists. Potentially. It undermines the unity of the passage's conclusion by adding a details not. This feels pretty important. No, because the details of the provider are not rendered in clear enough terms. No, it's pretty clear. Yeah, intactness of the skeleton, because he's planning to do additional digs, so I just don't like the way they phrase this answer, but I think I'm gonna go with it. Yeah. Because it's not undermining the unity of the conclusion. Because, like, the conclusion should be like, yeah, we did a lot of good work, and there's still more that can or should be done. I hope. Alright, what's this last one? Another draft! I love the ones where they just ask you, like, should you put a sentence here? Should you remove a sentence there? Alright, the writer wants to add a sentence before sentence 1 to introduce the topic of the passage. Buyers can have bananas of roughly the same size, sweetness, and texture in grocery stores around the world, and growers can expect consistent yields across thousands of acres of cannabis banana trees. The uniformity of these bananas make it widely vulnerable to disease. Okay. Yeah. No. I like this, actually. Cannabis banana, the most widely available type of banana in the world, is prized by consumer producers in part because of its predictability. Yeah. The popularity of bananas today can be traced back to an advertising campaign. No. Bananas have come a long way from being a luxurious food in the early 20th century to one of the most widely shared. Yeah, this feels more related because it's talking about the predictability, and then it talks about roughly the same of all of those things. So we'll go with that. The writer wants to add a transition between the beginning of sentence 2, adjusting the capitalization of punctuation as needed to show the relationship between sentence 1 and 2. Okay. Yeah, this felt like a weird transition to me as well when I read it. Growers can expect consistent yields across thousands of acres of Cavendish banana trees. However, the uniformity, yeah, because it's a however, it's a plot twist type of transition. The writer wants to add a thesis statement after sentence 2 that accurately represents the main argument of the passage. Well, I don't know the main argument of the passage. I don't want to read the whole thing. Freaking fine. Oh, I opened the wrong thing. I accidentally opened Edge again, or Bard. I still don't know what this is called. Edge or Bard. Sorry, I'm trying to close it. It's like covering my screen. Okay, continuing on. Which the following best accomplishes the goal? So I'm just gonna skim this. It's talking about growing on one breed, lack of diversity, limit. Okay, it's talking about how the bananas are bad because diversity. It's successfully branched out, grows people to come with a variety of bananas. That's not what it's talking about. To ensure bananas survive for years to come, producing to diversify. Yes. Banana growers will need to take advantage of the latest developments in research. No. Well, yes, actually, potentially. But it doesn't talk about that in this paragraph, as I'm skimming it. Consumers who are used to eating bananas for breakfast may therefore need to find new fruit to eat. No. To ensure the bananas survive for years to come, produce and diversify. Yeah. Yeah, I can buy that. Especially because it ends here with they need to be more open-minded about what kinds of bananas they'll accept. So yeah, it's basically telling you to lock in and diversify. Alright. The writer wants to create a neutral tone when describing the growing practices used to cultivate Cavendish bananas in sentence 3, which following versions of terribly in sentence 3 best does that. A neutral tone. Okay. Growing only one breed of crop is a common way for farmers to maximize output and other desirable qualities, but the Cavendish banana is terribly lacking in diversity. Is unusually lacking in diversity because its trees are grown not from seeds, but from cutting and okay, it wants to be neutral, so it's not terribly. But all of these is. Earlier, I asked about a neutral tone, and the answer wasn't bizarrely or weirdly, because both weird and bizarre were options, which is why I instantly went unusually. But these all feel not very neutral. Cavendish banana is terribly lacking in diversity because its trees is unusually lacking in diversity. Weirdly lacking in diversity? Because bizarrely, weirdly, and unusually make it sound like it's coming out of nowhere. But it explains in that sentence that it's not coming out of nowhere. And terribly doesn't give that same vibe off. So, I'm un poco confused. Huh. I'm gonna mark it, come back to it. I'm at the very end anyway. I think I'm allowed to mark one more. Okay. The writer wants to add a sentence after sentence 4 that develops the narrative in the second paragraph in a way that makes the audience feel the impact of the loss of this type of banana. Which one best does that? After sentence 4, okay. The dangers of this lack of genetic diversity are illustrated by the story of the Cavendish predecessor in the global market, this banana. This delicious banana was also grown from countries. I feel like this is kind of infringing on what sentence 5 is doing. Furious Web is a fungus that kills banana trees and grows mango trees, which will also grow from cuttings. Also grown from cuttings, gross Michael bananas were never as popular as Cavendish bananas would become, but they were the most common type of banana until they were... I like this. A devastating fungus called... grown from cuttings. I like C because it like explains why these bananas were cool. Or like it wasn't as popular, I guess, and not cool. But then they were killed. Yeah, I like that. Alright, last question and we're done. How much time do I have? Oh, I have 8 whole minutes. Okay, I might take my time with these then, because I have to answer this one, then I have to answer 3 more, but I have answers for those for the most part. Okay. In sentence 9 at the bottom here, the writer wants to make a claim that rebuts the claim made in sentence 8 and says the rest of the paragraph. Which the following does that. Okay. Growers can limit bananas' vulnerability to disease and prevent devastating epidemics by cultivating more varieties of bananas. But decisions about what bananas to grow depend on what consumers will buy. However, bananas growers essentially have no control over. That's not true. It is a fantasy to imagine the Cavendish will be put. No. There are other ways to combat epidemics, such as modifying genetics. I kind of like how it is, but decisions about what bananas to grow depend on what consumers will buy. The Cavendish is popular because it's familiar, tasty, and expensive. Yeah, I actually like how it is now. I think that gets the point across pretty well compared to these 3. Okay, going back. I don't want to go back. This is the one about the Declaration of Independence. The last 2 sentences of the 5th paragraph here about the, like, if you don't have community, we'll have a funeral by yourself. The author presents Walt Whitman as a figure who embodies the complex relationship between individualistic and American thinking. I mean, he's not that complex. I mean, he's kind of like pretty one-sided here. As a figure who adopted traditional communal thinking that was opposed to... I'm going to go with this because it's kind of unclear what dominant social views is. And I think that he doesn't really embody the complex relationship because he's pretty one-sided. So I think it can't be this, so therefore this is really the only option left. So I'll go with that. 20 already wrote an answer here, but equate the... This is one about the disabled black lady. Equate the author's opinion as a writer with... What are we talking about? First sentence of the 18th paragraph? I remember this. Equate the author's opinions, opportunities as a writer with opportunities as a... Because, okay, I think it's not B, because it doesn't talk about opportunities. Meanwhile, here, connect to the author's insights about her personal life as a writer. Yeah, because here we're talking about, like, she's a journalist, and she wrote about this personal experience. Meanwhile, like, we're not really talking about opportunities too much outside of, like, the ability to write for this letter, if it's, like, a popular letter. But that's already a stretch. We don't know if this is popular or not, or if it's, like, an opportunity to go up and write. So I'm going to go C for this one based on that. And then 43, what was that? It's not terribly, it's not neutral. I'm going to go unusually, because it was my gut instinct, and none of these feel like they have, like, a logical reason in my head, really. So I'm going to go with my gut here. Alright. That was 45... Oh, this is still... That was 45 questions done in how much time? I had 5 minutes left. Not bad. Alright, hello chat. I can see y'all now. I'm gonna submit this, and then I will await responses, and then after responses, I'll move on to the FRQs. Or like the essays, I guess. They're all essays here in this test. Okay, it'll show up here when it's done. Yeah, awaiting score. It'll be here. Alright. Chat, how we doing? Welcome to the stream, everybody who's here. We have more people here for the APUSH and AP Gov streams, which I find kind of crazy because I thought Gov makes sense, but I thought more people would be taking APUSH than AP Lang. That appears to not be the case. So hello everyone. Alright, how bad were y'all yelling at me earlier? Cat's lucky actually went and got a 37 and 45. I checked earlier and I saw that to get a 5 you need on average 35 to 40 if you want what's it called? If you do like average on the essays if you want a 5. So 37 is like pretty good according to that. So we're chilling. AP Lang MCQ has at least 2 drafts on it. Oh, I didn't know that. Wait, that's like so good to know. Thank you. At least 2 drafts. Got it. Okay. Why is not particularly okay, Pinto Psych, looks like you were actually helping me with these, so thank you, I wasn't looking at chat. How to get good on the MCQs and you don't have practice and you start studying today, I'm so fried. I didn't really study for these MCQs too much, mainly because like I've been studying for the SAT reading writing section, and those are like similar enough that I felt fine. If you're fried at it and you haven't practiced and you're starting studying tonight, high key bro, like if I were you, I would go to sleep. Like, this sounds like a kind of a dumb thing to say, but genuinely, like, when you're this close to testing time, there's nothing you can do to get you, like, structurally better at MCQs. Because MCQs, like, you can't really study for either. It's not like APUSH or AP Gov where it's content-based. It's just, like, ability to interpret English. So, honestly, like, I feel like more importantly than studying, like, just having a fresh brain for the test matters more at that point. How's your AP Gov? It was way too easy. Oh my god, I know. AP Gov was so easy. It was so good. I mean, I'm saying this now. I'm going to do my AP score stream in July. I'm going to get like a 3. But no, I feel really confident about it. I felt confident about all the FRQs, all the MCQs. I only know one MCQ that I definitely got wrong because I was talking in the hallway afterwards and people just said I got it wrong. But oh well. Best study is sleep. That's what I'm saying. MCQ is usually set up as 4 passages, 2 being beat readings, 2 being drafts. It's so tough. I actually love the draft so much. Watch a Garden of English video about MCQs. Garden of English? I've never heard of this before. Garden of English. Is this like the Heimler of AP Lang? Have I been missing out? Why do I have 2 chats? This chat shouldn't be here. Hold up. I fixed it. Huh. This would have been really helpful to know a long time ago. Oh well. I'm not bad at MCQs and all this. Oh, if you see the thing, okay, so you're saying you're fried for no reason. If you're practicing for the SAT English, that's similar enough. Like you're chilling. APUSH was easy. APUSH was easy. Oh my goodness. I wasn't okay. It was all easy except for the DBQ. I don't know where you are, Meg Patel. I was on the East Coast, so we had the women in the early 1800s question. And, like, I know a lot about women in the 1900s, 1800s. I know Seneca Falls. I'm so mad I missed context / outside evidence being Abigail Adams, Remember the Ladies, because, like, I studied it and then I just forgot in the moment. But you were talking about the test? What? You can talk about the test after you leave the room. It's fine. I took APUSH freshman year. Freshman year is kind of crazy. Saying that was so weird, I went straight to the LEQ. That's funny. I still did the DBQ first, get it over with, but the LEQ, especially as an AP Gov student, oh my god. Politics from 1945 to 2000, oh my god. I genuinely saw that LDQ, turned off my A push brain, and went full AP Gov the rest of the time. Like, I AP Gov that test. It was great. English stuff in general is honestly something you can't really study for. I know. That's what I'm annoyed about. Because I haven't really been able to study for AP Lang. Because, like, what do you even do, you know? Like, I'm only doing practices, and that's kind of it. Bro, that was iffy. Every girl in my class were fangirling, yeah. I saw when we all moved to the DBQs, all the girls instantly were like, I genuinely saw girls going like, and then I saw that all the guys, half the guys were like pretty chill, half the guys were like, bro. And I was like an in-between. I wasn't completely crashing out, but I was expecting other things to come up. But, I guess I'm glad they had more women representation. The women were happy. I did the geography one. What? The one about the Native Americans? I just didn't study unit 1 or 2. I fully went, I saw that and I was like, no way in hell I am doing that one. My A push was so buns, why is everyone turned up by 1,000? Yeah, it's pretty easy. Yeah, I heard that compared to other years, A push this year was pretty, not that bad. Okay, I'm assuming that I'm able to see my answers by this point. Let's turn off the music. I don't know if it's out, but assuming it is, drum roll, please. Still waiting to score while I refresh. 40 out of 45. Okay, that's actually not bad. Hey, that's not bad. Because Google told me I need 30 to 40, and I got 40. Wait, that's so freaking chill. Okay, yeah, great, 40. What did I get wrong here? Let's take a look. Let's take a gander, if I must. Okay, freaking, oh. I was so close to crushing the first section. What was this one? Yeah, okay. I was between these two, and I just didn't. Am I blocking, by the way? I think I'm blocking. I am blocking. I'm so mad, bro. Like, I was between these two I flagged this question. Incorrect. The author bashes Americans have long combined the values of individuals. Okay, so yeah, it's just saying that the social dominant values isn't that, and this is right because Whitman are barred of brotherhood, also in credo of the individual. Oh, I didn't read this. I only looked at the actual quote, not the paraphrasing. I see. I should have looked at the paraphrasing. That would have helped. Oh, sorry, I went out of it. That would have been convenient. Okay, so I got that one wrong. And then, oh, again, I didn't get a whole thing right for here. Was this a drafts? No, this was about this one. Gym class. What did I put? Throughout the passage, the author presents evidence to support which of the following overarching claims. Even when members of marginalized groups are really? Okay. Sure, I guess. Actually, you know what? Why did I not do this one? Role models can be highly valuable to people who are not identical to them. That's right. Even when members of marginalized groups are gifted, they rarely receive the recognition they deserve. I don't know why I said B was wrong, because A also feels right to me. Why is A wrong? Although the author does assert in the first year of the 7th paragraph, first sentence of the paragraph, that there's lack of representation of people of color in disability sports. I yearn for representation of people of color in disability sports. It is not an overarching claim that she defends throughout the passage. Rather, the point contributes to a larger line of reasoning. Okay. So it's saying that, like, this is more overarching. Yeah. I feel like I'm struggling with the overarching ones, because the ones that are overarching is just, like, you need to actually know everything. Like, I understand the passage as a whole. Yo, when's the video coming? Chill. The video will come when the video comes. Maybe during the summer. I don't know. I just don't know how much time I'll have during the summer to edit videos. Zeb's talking about a video, I don't know if I've talked about it on stream before. I, like, tested if video games help you study. Okay, please tell me I got all of this next one right. No. I got one from... That's really funny. I got one from every single one wrong, and then I got 2 wrong for the last one, but... What was this one? This was a draft. Conclusionatory sentence. It does not make sense. Really? Okay. Okay, again, like I was between A and B here. I just thought it would be weird to put this when like it only talked about dense housing once. But I guess. Why is A wrong though? I see why B is right. Why is A wrong? The version of the conclusion mentions the two main problems caused in Discord have caused damage. However, it does not say anything about the role of tiny houses in addressing these problems. Really? Because, like, it says up here that, like, it costs a lot of money, and then tiny houses are far lower. But, okay, so I guess when I'm talking about a conclusion, it should be like something that was specifically mentioned, and dense house was specifically mentioned, but the tiny houses being a solution wasn't, like, specifically mentioned. So, sure, I guess. And then... Oh, no, I did actually get exactly one wrong, because I got Dinosaur 8 wrong and Banana 5. That's really funny. I got exactly one wrong per thing. I haven't actually looked at chat in a while. Have you all been talking? You have. Yeah. I did this one. Wait, what'd you get on it? I got, like, 2 wrong for everything because I'm stupid? No, God's lucky. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Can I get a 141 score using only 3 paragraphs? Does that work? What's a 141 score? I don't know what that means. Using only 3 paragraphs, intro, big party growth, evidence. 3 paragraphs is iffy. Like, you should do 4. Because you need to have an intro, and then 2 body paragraphs and a counterclaim. Because for both the... I'm fairly certain for both the synthesis and the argument, you need to have a counterclaim. And you don't need a conclusion. 141 is the AP Lang essay scoring. Oh, okay. I'm just stupid then. 1 for thesis. I actually should look at the rubric. Is it cheating to look at the rubric right before taking a practice? AP Lang rubric. Arguments. My teacher, I have like kind of a bad teacher. She didn't go over any of this with us. Okay, so you get 1 point for the thesis. And then 4 points for evidence. What's 4? Provide specific evidence from at least 3 of the provided sources to support all claims in a line of reasoning. And commentary. Consistently explain how the evidence supports the line of reasoning. I see. Wait, so is there no counterclaim required? Oh, sophistication is that. Definition of sophistication, rhetorical analysis. Okay, so what's an option? Crafting a nuanced argument, that's like always subjective. Articulating the implications or limitations of an argument, either by either the student's argument or arguments. Well, now choices. Okay, so I feel like you can. It doesn't say it here, but you can earn sophistication through a counterclaim, right? Because that would count as like a nuanced argument. When do you put a counterclaim body paragraph? I always put it last. I've heard of people that put the counterclaim first, but I always go intro, body 1, body 2, counterclaim. So I had Chem and Gov on the same day. Yikes. I know people that took both Chem and Gov, and no, I know people that took Chem, comma, and I know people that took Gov. Chem and Gov is crazy. I do counter first, then 2 supporting. Yeah, my teacher does it that way as well. I always just find it weird to like, because it's weird to have like a whole intro and then you have your thesis and you're like, actually, hold on, I think you're wrong. So, like, you eventually get to explaining why the counterclaim is wrong, but I always like supporting it first and being like, hey, I'm super right, and then, oh, maybe there's a critic. No, boom, slamming you down. And I can also end the essay. I feel like it's kind of easy to end the essay on the response to a counterclaim without actually needing a conclusion, but... Chem was a pain, MCQ is easy. I've heard for all the science APs that the MCQ is easy and the FRQ is hard. And it's like consistent among Chem, physics, bio. I do counters throughout the essay because they like seeing counter arguments woven throughout. Huh. Interesting strategy. Interesting. My one worry about doing that is like, what if they like don't see the counterclaim? But I guess like you could really emphasize it. So Yeah. I guess I do like mini counterclaims. Like I give like 1 to 2 sentence counterclaims to a claim that I'm making, but for a counterclaim, it's like an entirely separate idea for me. For argument, my friend said they would pay me $100 to talk about some triple T brain rot in the argument essay. Got a 5 weeks. How would you prove it? You would just like fully not do it, then you get a 5 and you can get the $100. But that'd be so funny. It'd be kind of easy. I feel like if the argument is about like social media and you go like, oh, it's fried our brains because the triple T brain rot. Tung 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 sahur. Chem FRQs were so buns. I just put the points in my paper, bro. I don't put that much effort after. BC Calc, oh hell no. I have a friend who took BC. He said it was kind of light actually compared to past years. Fanpad AB. Zucas, are you taking AB or BC next year, Lucas? Same here. I've heard stories about it though. AB was free. It's funny. AB was easy. Okay. I also heard BC wasn't even that bad. Oh, chat. It's already 10 p.m. I want to go to bed. Like, not in terms of a tired way. Like, I need to be up at 6 a.m. type of way. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I don't have time to do all 3 of these essays. In fact, I really only have time to do 1. I should have started stream earlier. Let's do a poll. I'm only going to do 1 of these. Which essay should I write? And we got arguments. We got synthesis. I don't know if I spelled synthesis right. And then what's the last one? Rhetorical. I'll leave this poll open for 2 minutes. And no, I'll leave it open for 2 minutes and 45 seconds. That's just how long this song is. Sorry about that. I was gonna do a full test, but this will have to work. Do the essay you know you struggle with the most. It's fine. Like I don't have a preference really, because I've already written all these essays at least twice, and I don't really have a problem with them. So whatever you guys want to watch, I guess, or want to, you can write it along with me. I mean, I'm not looking at chat, but how is AP Lang? Is it hard or a lot of work? Like the class itself, it really depends on the teacher, because there's no curriculum. It's not a content class. You're not really like learning things for the test. You're learning more strategies to help with the test. So it so depends on your teacher, which depends on the school. My teacher specifically gives me a lot of busy work for absolutely no reason, but like I guess it helps me prepare, but it's kind of a lot. Synthesis, dude, I don't want to do synthesis. I also don't want to say that because then y'all make me do it, but synthesis I have to read so much. It's like a DBQ. Argument, just BS, exactly. Dude, especially because, like, I'm a debate kid, like, BS is, like, that's all I do for a living. All I do is write argument essays with my brain. I got 5s on all of them. Nice. Synthesis. I'm terrible at synthesis. ADHD makes it impossible to concentrate. I just don't like synthesis because it's, like, too much work. Like, why am I doing all that? My AP Lang class was just a discussion of books you read. That's really funny. We only read 1 book all year. Like, we've barely read books in my class. And I've heard of, like, other classes in my school where, like, the teacher made them do, like, synthesis essays of, like, someone's breakup, and it's, like, a fun little assignment, so... it really depends on the class. Oh, Rhetorical's actually coming out. Whoa. Okay, we're at 9 votes, only 10 people in the chat here, so I might close it a little early. It looks like Rhetorical... Go, I wanted to do an argument essay so bad. Like, I shouldn't, because it's the easiest one by far, and I should practice something else, but... Making me do some actual work today. Wouldn't need any books or anything. Oh, I guess that's not true. We didn't read full books. We read this thing. They gave us 50 essays, and this is the light that's in the way. It's like for the AP exam, for the AP English language course. And it's basically a bunch of mini stories that are all like 10-ish pages long, and we would like read from this a lot. We only read 1 actual book outside of this. She made us take hella notes and everything. I have like notes all over my thing. You can see it. We didn't get anything like that. Yeah, I don't know where this book came from, but gave those. Okay. Song is over, which means. Wait, where'd it go? Okay, song's over, which means it looks like we're doing the rhetorical analysis. This one I actually haven't done in the most amount of time. Rhetorical, low-key, really light. Okay, I haven't actually written a rhetorical essay since January. I remember you need Space Cat, which is speaker, point of view, audience, context, exigence, and then the cat is... I'm gonna search this up. I feel like it's fair for me to search this up. Space Cat AP Lang. Speaker, purpose, audience, context, exigence, choices, appeals, and tone. Okay. That's actually really bad. I didn't remember that. Yes, Space Cat. We gotta get the Space Cat. Soap for the goats? Who is using soap? Oh, hell no. We use Space Cat around here. Okay, so I need to mention these. I need to mention space, and then these are all options for the rhetorical analysis. And then purpose, it always goes like, the purpose is blank because, and then there's the message. Because you need to have purpose and message in there. So it's really Space Cat. Only soap is crazy. It's not enough room. I mean, for Space Cat, you don't need to use all of it. It's like you only use some of these things. So it's not like insane. Okay. Let me find a 2-hour timer. This will take me very little time. 1 second. Bum 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 bum. Okay, it's no longer 60 minutes. It's I'm gonna give myself 40 minutes here. Just because that's how long you're supposed to take on this. Right? You take 40 minutes per essay, and then an extra 15 minutes to read the synthesis documents. There's hecky no time for this test. Okay, there's 40 minutes. I can never remember Space Cat. Yeah, the cat is the important... Yeah, it's kind of like... Space is just like all you need for the intro, and then cat is what you can help use for your rhetorical analysis. I like how all the soap people are like hating on Space Cat here. Okay. Let me pull it up and then I'll restart the timer. I can pull out of this. Alright, I'm going no... Goodbye, chat. I'll see y'all afterwards in 40 minutes, and then I'll go to sleep. Can you use audience and then purpose why the speaker projected the audience? Yeah, it's not in order. You can go in any order you want for Space Cat. It's just remembering how to do it. I had to choose a piece of propaganda to write rhetorical analysis on, and I wrote an essay about Donald Trump's social media post talking about I was hunted, now I'm the hunter. Wait, that's actually hella funny. Did he actually... did he actually post, I was the hunted, now I'm the hunter? What's the most common rhetorical choices? You don't need to know specific rhetorical choices. Like, my teacher said you can just, like, make up stuff. Like, I know diction, for example, but I don't remember specific names for rhetorical analysis. I kind of just say, like, they use repetition, or hyperboles, or... That's not really, like, the names. I don't think it's the proper names for it. My prediction for Lang test is going to have AI. Is that fair? Yeah, I can definitely see that. Between argument, synthesis, and rhetorical, one of them being AI, it's much more likely to be synthesis or argument. I don't really see how rhetorical fits into AI, but it could be. My teacher talks... Yeah, it could definitely be argument or synthesis. We'll see. I am procrastinating. I'm turning on my my music. And we're going. Alright. Let me go in, reset timer. Where is it? Which one did I do? Number 3? Yeah, number 3. Practice, exam 3, FRQ. Okay, let me find the rhetorical analysis. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna move myself. There's hecky no good spots for me to go. I'm just gonna make myself smaller. Okay, and then we'll reset timer. Go, 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 go. Okay, in June 1862, the issue of the Atlantic Monthly Magazine, American author and philosopher Henry David Thoreau. I know Henry Thoreau. Wait, it's literally AP Gov. It's AP Gov. This essay is considered to be a classic expression of American transcendentalism and 19th century philosophy, literary, and social movement that was skeptical of conventional social institutions and fearful of change wrought by industrialism. Transcendentalists such as Thoreau extolled self-reliance and encouraged profound engagement of the natural world, which they sought to preserve in its pristine state. Read the passage carefully. Write an essay that analyzed the rhetorical choices Thoreau made to convey his message about the value of walking in nature. Hell yeah. AP Gov and APUSH put together. Let's freaking go. Okay. Let me see if I can remember how to write a rhetorical analysis essay. It's probably good that I chose this one, or that I guess you guys chose this one for me. Because I would have not remember how to do them in the test. I would have studied, like, in the morning tomorrow, but it's fine. Okay, let's read it. Let's do a reading session, chat. I almost choked in the water. When we walk, we naturally go to the fields and woods. What would become of us if we walked only a garden or a mall? Probably. I know what a mall is. Even some sects of philosophers have felt the necessity of importing the woods themselves, and they do not go to the woods. They plant groves or walks on plantains, trees, or they took sunwalks in porticos open to the air. Of course, it is not no use to Yikes. Of course, it is of no use to direct our steps to the woods if they do not carry us thither. I am alarmed when it happens that I have walked a mile in the woods bodily without getting there in spirit. In my afternoon walk, I would fain forget all my morning occupations and my obligations to society, but it sometimes happens that I cannot easily shake off the village. The thought of some work will run in my head, and I am not where my body is. I am out of my senses. In my walks, I would fain return to my senses. What businesses have I in the woods if I am thinking of something outside the woods? I suspect myself and cannot help but shudder when I find myself so implicated even when we are called good works, for this may sometimes happen. My vicinity affords many good walks, and though so for many years I have walked almost every day, and sometimes for several days together, I have not yet exhausted them. An absolutely new prospect is a great happiness, and I can still get this any afternoon. 2 or 3 hours' walking will carry me to as strange a country as I'll ever expect to see. A single farmhouse which I have not seen before is sometimes as good as the dominoes of the King of Dahomey. What is that reference? Former name of the current Republic of Benin. Okay, sure. There is in fact a sort of harmony discoverable between the capabilities of the landscape within a circle of 10 miles radius, or the limits of an afternoon walk, and the 70 years in a 10 of human life. It will never become quite familiar to you. Nowadays, almost all man's improvements, so-called, are the building of houses and the cutting down of forests of all large trees, simply deform the landscape and make it more and more tame and cheap. A person would begin by burying the fences and let the forest stand. I saw the fences half consumed, their ends lost in the middle of the prairie, and some worldly miser of the surveyor looking after his bounds, while heaven had taken his place around him, and he had not seen the angels go to and fro, but was looking for the old post hole in the midst of paradise. I looked again and saw him standing in the middle of a boggy stein, which is an underworld river. Okay. Surrounded by devils, and he had found his bounds without a doubt. 3 little stones where a stake had been driven, and looking nearer, I saw that Prince of Darkness was his surveyor. These are all references that I don't really get, but I can use it as a rhetorical analysis. I can easily walk 10, 15, 20, any number of miles commencing at my own door without going by any house, without crossing any road except where the fox and the mink do. First along by the river, and then by the brook, and then the meadow, and then the woodside. There are square miles in my vicinity which have no inhabitant. From many a hill I see civilization and the abodes of man afar. The farmers in their work are sacredly more obvious than woodchucks in their burrows. Man in his affair, church and state and school, trade and commerce, and manufactures and agriculture, even politics, the most alarming of them all. I am pleased to see how little space they occupy in the landscape. Politics is but a narrow field, and the still narrower highway yonder leads to it. I sometimes direct the traveler thither. If you would go to the political world, follow the great road, follow that market man, keep his dust in your eyes, and it will lead you straight to it. For it too has a place, merely does not occupy all space. I passed from in a bean field into the forest, and it is forgotten. In 1/2 hour I can walk off to some portion of the earth's surface where a man does not stand from one year's end to another, and there, consequentially, politics are not, for they are but a cigar smoke. I want to say that was a really good essay. Like, that's like chill. I like the idea. What am I gonna write about it? Yikes. Okay, so instantly, let me go through Space Cat. Speaker is 19th century philosopher. Purpose and message is like one thing here. The purpose is to convince the audience to touch grass loke. Because what was his reason? In a world of increasing industrialization, it is important to why does he say it's relevant? Like what? Like I get the idea, I don't get why he thinks it. To step back from the not meaninglessness, but like inconsequential everyday urban experience, and enjoy the natural world that takes up most, that is the setting of most land in the United States. He's in the United States, right? Yeah. Yeah. I like how for the purpose I like just gave up and the message I actually wrote. I probably used this in the essay. What's the audience here? Like urban Americans. Context is rise in industrialization. I mean, there's really no, that kind of is the exigence. There's no more exigence than that. Yeah, I'll say it. Rise in industrialization in America, in the US, and the exigence is kind of the same. Okay, and then when we get to cat, I'm not actually gonna go through. Actually, I should. I kind of forgot what cat is though, and I don't want to search up during the test. How much time do I have left? I've set 10 minutes. Okay. I know T is tone. I forgot choices. I'm pretty sure. I don't know A. So choices and tones remain that we're getting this. He talks very like philosophy, but I don't know how like why that's relevant. Like why does he do that? He just does that because that's how he talks. Like he's just a philosopher. I don't like cats. I like space. I don't like cat. What I'm instead gonna do is just go rhetorical devices. What does he do? I need 3. Do I need 3 or do I need 2? I'm pretty sure I need 3. Because the thing is, because the whole thing is so like featherily written. I don't know if that's a word, but you know what I mean. Like kind of like written in not in brevity, written in like a. It feels like it was written in a cloud of words. He uses here. He starts talking about some references that I'm sure could be a device. I just don't know what the references are. Like Greek mythology, kind of. But It's kind of difficult. This is bad. I should know what I'm doing. He uses rhetorical questions, both at the very start, also here, and he used that to like call out the stupidity of like actions of urbans. I like what I call city boy, is I guess how the Gen Z would call it. Two more. Diction feels boring. Just to say diction is one of these, but he uses examples a lot. Personal anecdotes. Like, he talks about his own walk here. He talks about his own walk here. And here. Actually, every paragraph with the one that he goes on, he's like, Greek mythology rants. I want to use Greek mythology so bad, I just don't know enough to say that, like, it's relevant. I'm fair. Do I only need 2? I'm pretty sure I need 2. What time am I at? 28 minutes. I've already been planning for 12 minutes. Okay. That's fine. I need one more rhetorical device. I need to start writing. I look, need time to write. I need one more, bro. I should probably just, like, remember some rhetorical devices to use. Should I just go diction on it? The value of walking in nature. He uses the word thither a lot. If only I knew the exact definition of it. I kind of don't. I know, like, vaguely what he's meaning by context. One could say that he... Yikes. He doesn't do repetition. He doesn't do hyperbole. Does he do metaphors? Kind of? Oh, I need to start writing. Maybe I'll just start writing, and then from there, I will figure it out. Oh, I want to put it in ChatGPT to see what I got. So here's what I'm gonna do as well. Hold on. This is kind of like off time, but if I do this, could I copy it onto a Google Doc so I'm able to then put it on ChatGPT for grading? It does let me. Okay, so I'll write it in here. Okay, I'm gonna start writing with these two, and then I'll come back to it. I need an intro now. What's my intro? Beginning in the second. I'm not blocking, right? On the stream. Sorry. I'm just trying to. No, I'm not blocking. I'm good. Okay. Second half of the. What is this? 19th century? 19th century, the United States began industrializing, growing urban cities, or I'm gonna say, by growing its urban cities and putting extra emphasis on big business in the everyday American life. Does that sentence make sense? Industrialization growth and putting extra emphasis on business in everyday. Yes. As this trend became ever more what's the word for like contagious, but in a way that makes sense for the sentence? As this trend became ever more a reality for of Americans, especially those living in urban centers, they began, is ever increasing, probably there's a dash in between. They began spending more time in concrete jungles, music reference, and less time in nature. This led to Thoreau's 1862 article published in the Atlantic Monthly. My teacher told me to add all this information. I don't know if it's really relevant, but she told me to do it, so I'm going to listen to her. The thoughts of 1862 published in the Atlantic Monthly, arguing for, or in an attempt to persuade the urban American audience to spend more time outdoors and enjoying the value of nature because copy and paste. Is this sentence too long? This might. I should cut this. That's a to Thoreau, a popular philosopher, publishing an article in the Atlantic Monthly. In it, he seeked to persuade the urban American audience to more time outdoors and enjoying the value of nature because in a world of increasing industrialization, it is important to step back from the inconsequential everyday. I keep saying urban too much. Everyday city life experience and enjoy the natural world in the setting today. I forgot the exact way. What time am I at? 21. I forgot. There's like a way my teacher told me to write it where it's like the transition between the purpose message to what's it called? To the thesis. But I think I can just write a thesis here and it'll probably be fine. Thoreau used rhetorical questions, personal anecdotes. This feels like not the right way to write a thesis, but after this I will go back and I'll like recheck the rubric because this feels a little bad for theses. Can I get one more now, please? Oh my god, imagery. Imagery is a thing that I can do. Yes. And vivid imagery. To emphasize or to improve upon his arguments. This feels like a really bad thesis in the way it's structured, but I have my 3 things now. I feel good with this. I feel okay. And I have 20 minutes left. I'm actually yeah, I feel like I'm okay with... I was worried earlier that I was spending too much time planning, but I now have 20 minutes for 3 paragraphs, which feels fine. Okay, this is a good intro. I don't like the thesis, but in terms of the structure, but the actual thesis itself is fine. So let's go with that, and I no longer need Space Cat. Okay. Did my music turn off? My music did turn off. Okay. What's my first thing? Rhetorical questions. Thoreau. I like pronouncing his name like that. Begins his essay. What is it? Essay. Yeah. Begins his essay. I should probably say the name of it. Walking. I feel like, I don't know why, but I feel like it's probably important to have the name in there. Okay. Thoreau opened his essay with a rhetorical question, one of several that he would use throughout. I'm pretty sure we're supposed to use quotes here. I know you're not really supposed to use quotes for synthesis, or maybe it's DBQ. I forgot. I'll check afterwards again. I don't remember if you should be writing quotes for the synthesis, the DBQ, or neither. So I know for a DBQ for history you're not supposed to do that, but I don't know about synthesis. I don't know about here. But I'm pretty sure here you should use quotes because it would make sense if you're doing a rhetorical analysis. He questions the reader, who, based on his audience, likely spends little time in nature, if they would rather only ever walk in a garden or a mall. This, I guess I didn't quote there, but it's fine. This immediately creates a dichotomy in the reader's mind between perusing a man-made environment and exploring actual nature. I forgot what I need to do in my tutorials. I high-key forgot what's it called? How I'm supposed to do this. Okay. I forgot. Like, I just don't remember what's on the rubric. It immediately creates a dichotomy in the reader's minds between pursuing a man-made environment and exploring actual nature. I think I spelled it immediately wrong. I'm not going to correct it. It's probably fine. Exploring actual nature. What do I say? The rest of the essay argues in favor of spending such free time in nature. So, getting the reader to think about this question instantly focuses the reader on the... I remember what the thesis is supposed to be. You're supposed to say Thoreau used these things to purpose because message. So it's actually, in it, Thoreau used imagery to, yes. Oh my god, I remember. I'm so glad I remembered. In it, Thoreau used rhetorical questions, personal anecdotes, and vivid imagery to persuade the urban American audience to spend more time outdoors and enjoy the value of nature, because in a world of increasing industrialization, it is important to step back from the inconsequential everyday city life experience and enjoy the natural world that is the setting of most land in the United States. I remembered. I'm so happy I remembered that. That is This works so much better now. Thank goodness. Okay, I'm gonna move on now. Rest essay argues in favor of spending... How much time do I have? Oh, I spent 6 minutes on this one paragraph. No, the intro and this paragraph. So I'm actually fine on time. The rest of the essay argues in favor of spending such free time in nature, so getting the reader to think about this question instantly focuses the reader on the purpose and message that Thoreau goes on to discuss. Later on in the essay, what was the other thing? The other rhetorical question? Can I control F here? Will it let me? Here, I found it. Thank you. In my walks, I would fain return to my sons with business out in the woods. Essay. When he is deep in an anecdote about a time he walked in the forest. Did he say forest? Where was he? Woods. In the woods. He poses another rhetorical question. As he recalls thinking about his urban world while on a walk in the woods, he wonders why. Can I just quote this? He wonders why he would be there in the first place. And I can get a quote here. If I am thinking of something silence. No. Am I not allowed to copy from here? Fine, I'll just read it. If I am thinking of something outside of the woods. I don't know if I'm supposed to be quoting or not, but it's fine. We'll work with it. If I'm thinking of something. It feels so much more pressure to be writing an essay and knowing there's like people watching, because I feel like I have to write faster and think faster. This is where Thoreau begins to touch the heart of his argument. How much time? I want to finish this paragraph before 10 minutes. I'll have a minute to do that. Shoot, I'm a little behind. The question allows him guides the rest of his paragraph via an explanation, an answer to the question, to explaining what the purpose of going to nature is for. It is to cleanse one's self of the overwhelming responsibility of the non-natural world. And if one is to spend all of that cleansing time thinking about the wellness? Is there a point to cleanse at all? Thoreau, by utilizing rhetorical questions, says no. This feels fine. I don't know if my analysis is that strong, because I kind of forgot how to do it and I'll look at the rubric after, but this feels fine for a first paragraph. Alright, secondly, we have personal anecdotes. Alongside rhetorical questions, Thoreau also implemented personal anecdotes into his argument. Many times when making a claim, it is important to, especially with the goal of convincing the audience to do an action. It is important to explain how your claim has been true for you personally. Thoreau does this consistently throughout the essay using anecdotes. In the final paragraph, he sheds light on the endless possibilities that a few hour-long walk can hold. He mentions not seeing any houses for miles, seeing hills with no inhabitants. How do you spell inhabitants? Oh, that's right. It does trip me up. I mean, it makes sense for a test, but it does trip me up sometimes how there's no like autocorrect on here, which like I would fully not expect there to be one, but that does make sense. Okay, continuing on. How much time do I have? I have like little time, right? 6 minutes, and I still have to finish the paragraph and another. Okay, I need to lock in. Maybe I should have done less prep time, and I will consider doing less prep during the actual test tomorrow. But yikes, I don't. How am I gonna have the brain power for all this tomorrow? And I'm just not seeing any houses for miles, seeing hills with no inhabitants, and how when you get far away enough from the city, the woodchucks and their burrows become mesmerizing. That's not what he said. I'm just lying. He mentions not seeing any house for miles, seeing hills and no inhabitants, and how when you get far enough the city, the work of the farmers alongside the woodchucks become a sight to see. He does this primarily to show, not tell, the reader, the audience, that despite the the isolating experience that one gets by merely living in a city, a walk can have just as much, if not more, to offer. Did that make sense? I think it did. Should I wrap up this paragraph? I have like no time, bro. Oh, hell no. Okay, moving on. I forgot. I feel like I'm missing. I mean, all it says here is explain how the evidence supports your line of reasoning, demonstrate understanding. Yeah, that feels fine. I feel like I'm doing enough. Thoreau. I'm just gonna say the philosopher hopes that by sharing his own personal experiences, he can convince the previously unconvinced that spending more time in nature doesn't have to be a chore. It can be a fun and enlightening experience. Okay, I'm definitely gonna have to like figure out how to write this better. But... Okay, and now for the last 2 minutes and 50 seconds, I'm writing my last one. Yikes. Okay. Lastly, Thoreau. What's the last thing? Imagery. Sprinkled vivid imagery throughout the essay to enhance his depictions of how and why nature is valuable. What did he actually do? Where is his vivid imagery? I said vivid imagery is like my last thing, but I know I'm really short on time, but I'm gonna go over. I want to finish this essay, so I'm gonna like allow this to continue for a little bit longer, even past time. It kind of is the same part. It's like this. Yeah. The audience, because the audience is not one that is well versed in what nature has to offer. Thoreau needs to, has a tough job fully emphasizing just how important nature is. Vivid imagery allows him to more deeply envelop the audience into his world, his experiences, and in the end, his argument. In the fourth paragraph, Thoreau takes time out of an otherwise short essay to describe the fox and the mink that roads. And he goes into great detail about the hills seen far from the abodes of man. This is not an oversight, but an important aspect to fully get the purpose and message of the essay across. I don't know if this is... I'm either cooking or doing really bad right now, and I can't tell. I'm probably past time. I'm gonna go maybe like 1 more minute, and then I'm gonna be done. So, yeah. Because also, like, now that I know what I'm doing, I'll spend less time on the actual test. I'm gonna say an important aspect of the website, to convince readers that nature is important, and spending time, and taking time away from big industrial complexes to ease the mind with trees and grass. The ability to describe the experience. You were asking the audience to partake is crucial, and one that Thoreau does well. Okay, I'm done. This is probably a really bad essay. I'm looking at chat again. Hello. 131, maybe a 121. Is that bad? That's not terrible out of a 141. My main concerns with this was that I didn't really know how to like interpret the rhetorical things that well. So I'm definitely going to be looking at the rubric now, and then also talking with friends on the train to school tomorrow. Alright, it is time. Let us throw all of this. You spent way too much time on Space Cat to not even use it. I did use it. No, because I thought the point of Space Cat was to use it all in your intro, and I incorporated everything in my Space Cat in the introduction. No? Could I have done that better? I'm gonna throw this all into ChatGPT, and I'll give it the, I just wrote a rhetorical analysis essay for AP English Language, using the College Board 2026 rubric. Please grade this essay harshly. You always have to say harshly so they know you're doing it right. No sugarcoating. Give me the score I would actually get on an AP thing. Below is the essay is the essay I was interpreting and the essay I produced. Stimulus essay. Is there anything else I should add to the prompt so ChatGPT doesn't give me like 100 for no reason just because it wants me to think it's nice? Hello? Oh. Oh my god, can you not copy this? Does it not let you? Oh no. Oh no. It doesn't let you copy this. Shoots. How do I find this online? Give it the AP Lang rubric? Oh, I can take a screenshot. You're right. That's a really good point. It doesn't fit. There we go. That's smart. Thank you. Stimulus essay and rubric is in the screenshot. Below is my essay. You're telling me to give it the rubric? I need to do that? Ballots for Octophiles and essay. Yeah, I was at a debate tournament and I was trying to figure out what I needed to advance. Okay. AP Lang rhetorical analysis rubric. This is synthesis. Here's rhetorical analysis. Here's the first part. And then here's the second part. Or there's a third part as well, I guess. Does it allow me to put 4 pictures at a time in one message? I don't really use chat that often. But it looks like it should work. I don't see why it wouldn't. I definitely didn't. Max 3 at a time. Okay. Rubric. I still need to submit the to send you the rubric for the sophistication point. Do not grade until my next message where I send it. Flows my essay. And then here it does allow me to copy paste the whole thing.
Nailed the speech.
Yo, holy ads on my music, bro. Okay. Copy. Paste. Hello? No. Please work. Do I need to, like, do this? Okay, that should work. Okay, and then now I send the last part. Here we go. Oh. I can't upload more files until tomorrow. Shoot. I can just do this. It won't let me upload another picture. Here is the rubric below. Now you can grade the essay. Alright, before it starts saying stuff. I'm not looking at it right now. You and Ariel should do AP Goon reveals. Yeah, we'll definitely consider doing that. Calling it 5 out of 6? Okay. I think I'm going to give it 4 out of 6 because I just don't believe that I knew enough about the rubric. I should probably review the rubric. I've definitely gotten 100 or like 6 out of 6 on rhetorical essays last semester, but that was last semester. Alright. Just copy paste the message from before. Oh, okay. Let's see, what did it give me? I can't see. 4 to 6, yeah, okay, that's what I thought. Missing 1 evidence, missing 1 sophistication. I earned this. Why not stronger? Translation is too long, historically shaky. I guess. Okay, so it told me stop yapping, basically. 6.5 isn't that bad. Okay, I will stop yapping in the future. Good to know. Okay, evidence. Why did I get 3? Because I did this. Why didn't I get a 4? Commentary has to consistently explain how evidence supports the line of reasoning. Let me actually look at what it says here. What gets me 4 points? No, stop. Provide specific evidence to support all claims of reasoning, and consistently explain how the evidence supports line of reasoning, and explain how multiple rhetorical choice in the passage contributes to the writer's argument, purpose, or message. I see. I got a 3. So chat is saying that I did this the same. Explain how some of the evidence supports line of reasoning. Explain how at least one rhetorical passage contributes. Okay. So I need to explain how it specifically contributes to the argument, purpose, or message, and I need to explain a line of reasoning, which I don't think I did that much. Your essay repeats this into broad, generalized explanations. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Okay, so be more specific is what I'm hearing. Some evidence imprecise. I don't know. Okay, so I can phrase it a little better. Okay, I can see that. You 100% got sophistication? I disagree. Chat never gives it to you. Really? I don't think I earned sophistication. These are my students overestimate their score. Harshly, you did not. You're saying chat never gives it? I don't know. I don't think I got it. What is it again for this? Response to demonstrate sophistication through one of the following ways. 1. Explaining the significance or relevance of the writer's rhetorical choice. I might have done that. Explaining a purpose or function of the passage's complexities or tensions. I didn't do that. Employing a style that is consistently vivid and persuasive. Okay, well this is just like if they like the way you wrote. 2. Explaining a purpose or function of the passage. Okay, so this is actually interesting. I could probably just write this tomorrow. Like, I didn't know this. I could probably just find a way to slip that in. Like, find a way where, like, there's some nuance, or I can explain the nuance, or, like, literally anything. There's a lot of options. FRQ predictions? Literally none. Somebody earlier today, I think it was Cat's Lucky, predicted that there'd be an AI thing in there, like, maybe, like, an AI argument essay or an AI synthesis essay. I fully agree. I think there's 100% a world where you get, like, an argument essay that's, like, to what extent has AI made learning hard in the classroom? Or, like, to what extent are based on the documents, like, how bad is AI for climate change? Like, something like that. Like, technology. Yeah. I've inputted multiple 6 out of 6 and chat got 4 out of 4. It's hella harsh. Okay, interesting. Okay. Yeah, I think I might have gotten one here, but I could see a world where, like, I didn't, like, fully explain the significance to a certain degree. What did it tell me to do, though? Just be more layered? Does he do that? I guess a little bit. Okay. Stop explaining the problems in general terms. Okay, that's... My teacher told me to. I actually, like, this, like, I don't know about you, Alex, like, you said, like, chat isn't always the best for this. I agree with this, 100%. Like, I always slip into, like, talking generally, and you talk, like, well, it generally doesn't matter. Like, only about the essay, which is good to know. What do you, like, if you want me to be generous, what do you think is the highest a grader would give this? 4, 5, or 6? 5. Okay. Yeah, I still just don't think I agree. I think it's more likely I got the evidence than the sophistication. Alright. Anyway, chat. That was good. That felt helpful. I say you just got a 5, not a 6. Yeah, I don't think I got sophistication. Think about, I didn't, like, what I'm going to do, I'm now realizing, I'm just going to read the rubrics. Because I didn't read the rubrics. I read the rubrics, like, many months ago. But I should refresh them. Rule of thumb is just yap more on commentary. Yeah, just, like, explain, like, specifically why for this essay it matters. You did a technology essay already? Wait, that's so tough. Just, like, rewrite your essay again. I did that for Gov. For Gov, I did a practice on stream on Monday, and then I got, like, a very similar essay on Tuesday on the test. It's great. Read the rubrics. Oh, I'm gonna read the rubrics tomorrow. My plan is right now, I'm gonna end this stream, probably eat some more food, I'm kind of hungry, and then be asleep by 11:30. Because I'm waking up at 6:30, so I definitely want to be asleep at a reasonable time. Yeah, I'm cooked for tomorrow. Anna Crow, we're gonna do great. Edward, we're gonna do things nobody's ever seen before on this test. Did you get the one which, like, which the quotes do you agree with? I don't know what you're talking about. You're probably talking to Lucas. Alright, yeah, Katsuki, you're right. We should all be getting sleep. I'm gonna put on the outro music. there's more people here than normal, which makes sense because we're doing Lang, and I've come to the conclusion that Lang is more popular on YouTube at least compared to APush or AP World. So I would love to keep talking to you all. Unfortunately, I think it matters more that we all get sleep. We are all getting a stroke of genius tomorrow. It's only 8 for you? Oh, because you're on the West Coast. Yeah, there's a bunch of freaking Westies over here. Looking at y'all, Lucas, Alex, a bundle of ideas as well. Chat, AP Lang is more popular because no one does actually AP Lang content. No, that's study. Yeah, that's fair. Although I think on numbers, more people take APush than AP Lang. So everybody wants to watch Heimler, not a freaking high schooler who knows nothing take a test. Yeah, Cat's lucky. Eastern time zone there. All right, y'all. We're all gonna do great tomorrow. This, I'm pretty sure, is most of our last APs. So one final push, and then we're freaking out of here for the year. I will not be streaming tomorrow. It is a Wednesday, but I'm doing the test, so like I'm not doing all that. I'll be back to normal streams. I do have some stuff happening the next 2 Wednesdays. I have training for a summer program I'm doing, so I might be streaming more at 9 p.m.-ish. But I might also move to a Tuesday. We'll see. I'll update everybody in the community chat. So if you want to be here for that, subscribe. That'd be really helpful for both me, because I would feel good about the number, and also you, because you'll know when I'm streaming, and we can come back and do some homework together. That's about all I have for y'all. Go to sleep. I'm going to sleep. You're cooked for AP Lang, bruh. I disagree, bruh. Good night. Thanks for the sub bundle of ideas. Hopefully I'll see you next week. Alright, good night, chat. We are all getting 5s. Good luck, goodbye. No dailies? No, I don't do dailies on days where I do exams. I need sleep, and you need sleep too. Dailies are for homework days. Exactly, it's not even a Wednesday. I don't do dailies on... I do dailies on Wednesdays. I like that example. I like that reasoning. It's gonna get you a 6 out of 6 in the argument essay. Alright, good night, chat. I'm ending. Bye, 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 bye.